Alright, so guys, today's machine is Bulldog, and Bulldog is very realistic machine. It's kind of OSCP machine, and it's not beginner challenge. It's kind of intermediate to, it's not hard because it doesn't have advanced exploitation nor buffer overflow either, but it does have some challenging concepts and challenging encounters, as you're gonna see right now. So Bulldog is kind of intermediate machine, okay, upper intermediate, but it's very realistic. And before diving in, the main tracks for this machine is, first you need to register your as a regular user, then you need to escalate to admin, and third, after that you need to execute some malicious commands on the server, getting shellback, and then escalating your privilege into root. So basically I'm gonna dive in directly. If you scan the machine, you'll find there is only one open port, which is the port for HTTP protocol. Navigating to the site here, we see social media network site in front of us with two basic functions, login and register. If you click on register here, it is disabled. Okay, you cannot register for whatever the reason. Okay, and if you cannot register, you're not going to be able to log in. Okay, and don't bother with the users and the other things about us and sign up. Okay, we need to focus on one thing, which is getting your user registered on this site. Okay, but it's not enabled, so we need to find a way around to manipulate it in order to register our user. So view page source, as we do. So you need to search for the main script that handles the login and registration. So you will find here, okay, that's it. So here's we have, this is the first script, which is inline blah 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 bundle.js, polyfills, vendor, and main. So the script that you need to bother with is main bundle.js. Why? Because it's self-explanatory. You don't need to dive in and see those scripts or look over those scripts. The script that you need to deal with is this one. Okay, click on it. So here we have long tail script. You see, it's a very long script, and it's kind of obfuscated because nothing is clear or conspicuous from the script. Null, 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 null. Okay, so how to deobfuscate the script? Pretty easy. Grab it, copy, and go to deobfuscatejavascript.com. How you can find this? Pretty easy. And don't ask me how, because you can just write or type online GS deobfuscator. You'll find a bunch of sites that offer their services of deobfuscation. Click on this, paste your script here, deobfuscate, then you will get the script deobfuscated back. Control A, Control C, copy your script and paste it to paste it to txt file or notepad file. Okay, so when you first paste the script and see the script here, you see that's very long ass script. Okay, it's like 1116, so 1166 line here. So what you need to do after determining your objective, which is registering, you're gonna search for register in the script. Why? You need to determine the URL or the foothold or the thing that you need to take advantage of in order to register. So looking for register, we see here some instances of this word, that you need to find the instance which has the registration mechanism. So here we go, return prototype register user. So whenever a user is registered, it makes the followings, which is post request to users registered, okay, with the content type GS on, okay. So when a user is registered, basically in typical circumstances, the following is executed, going to users register and setting the content type to application JSON. But you might wonder, where are the parameters that a user needs to type in order to get registered? So looking for other parameters, validate, register, of course it's not, register, submit. Okay, so then the site asks for the following parameter, which is name, email, username, password. Okay, so what do you understand from this? If we go back, previous, so if we try to grab this path and go to our machine, so now we are trying to register using this URL, but it's not gonna work. 404. So neither the functionality is enabled and the path doesn't work. So your eyes directly go toward making post request manually. Okay, why manually? Because if this page doesn't work, okay, and the registration functionality is disabled, if we can manually make a post request, okay, and if this post request works, what does this tell us is that any arbitrary user, okay, from outside the authentication circle, like me or any unregistered users, can bypass the permission on the registration path. Okay, so guys, the registration path is users register. Okay, and if this path is, or if it doesn't have the right permissions set, so any arbitrary user can make post requests on this path and execute registration. That's the main idea of this challenge, I think, from my perspective. So my perspective is the path here doesn't have the right permissions. Okay, so in typical circumstances, if you access this URL from here or using post request, okay, you will get like forbidden tag, forbidden HTTP tag, and this is the thing that if it was enabled, it would have prevented us from registration. Okay, so let's see how we can tackle this. So let me make now post request using curl, okay, or you can use perp suite, but I'm gonna use curl for this challenge. So let me see my curl command. Where is it? Curl. Okay, so basically the command you need to use for making post requests using curl is this command. Okay, so X stands for post, and you specify the URL and the path. Okay, this is the path that you need to access using the post request, and this is basically because the main issue here is, the main misconfiguration here is the user is registered, as I said, doesn't have the right permissions set. So in typical circumstances, or if the configurations would have been configured correctly, it would give 500 forbidden access. You cannot make post request manually or automatically or using the browser. Oops. Okay. So for the don't forget to set the content type to JSON and D for parameters. So the first parameter is name, which is me. Okay. And because I use those values, I will change username to from Bulldog2 to, for example, Bulldog3. Password Bulldog3. And the email, let's change the email to another email. Okay, now let's execute. So it says success through message user registered. So the command successfully executed, though the functionality is disabled. Why? Because this path doesn't have the right permissions set, and it's accessible or can be manipulated manually. Okay, now let's go here and log in. So using Bulldog3, so you're successfully logged in here. So my profile page looks like this, me, right? So if I click on view page source, the same. Okay, so your next step, as I said, to escalate your privilege from me as a regular user or a standard user to an admin. How you can do this? Basically, you need to find some way, which is now using Perp Suite. Okay, so let's log out and see how the login mechanism works. Okay, so Bulldog3. Now our interceptor should be on. Login. Let's see now what we have. Okay, so basically here is the parameters sent and the basic post request, as you can see. Okay, now let's intercept the response. What is the response from the server when we type Bulldog3 as a regular user? Forward. Alright, so here we have this interesting lines. So here's token GWT, which is GS-owned token, and here we have the token starts from here. So this token is assigned to Bulldog3. Okay, so every user, whenever a user is registered on this side, it is assigned a token. Okay, oh sorry, whenever a user is logged in, they're assigned a token here, which GS-owned token. Okay, which is pretty easy encoded, pretty sure encoded. Okay, and here's our parameters, and as you can see, authentication level is a standard user. Okay, so it's very clear that we need to manipulate two things here, the authentication level, and there is something to do with this token. So let's grab this token here, copy this token, and try to decode this token here. What we're gonna do is, let's close this, go to GS-own web tokens, and again write on Google GS-own or GWT decode. Okay, and paste your token here. You will see the parameters that we have set previously, which is me, Kevin, Bulldog3 standard user. So you might be now overwhelmed with this information. Okay, so but knowing or having known that your next step is escalating to admin, you need to manipulate the authentication level. But what is the main authentication level for admin? So we go back to our script. Okay, the script here, as I said, explains the full process, the full mechanism of logging in and logging out, registering, and etc. So here you type to find the admin token. Let's write admin and look for it, and it pops out, or it comes out right in front of us, which is prototype is admin. Okay, and the function is, as you can see, local storage, get item user, and verify that the user authentication level is master admin user. Okay, and get the token assigned to the user, which is here. So the basic mechanism here is it verifies the authentication level and it verifies the token to determine or grants access or admin access. So we are pretty sure right now that the authentication level we need to put is master admin user. So we grab this, copy, okay. So you see that the token has been changed. What's your next step? Your next step is pretty sure and pretty straightforward, which is copying this and going to the request here. So instead of this regular user's token, we're gonna replace it with the admin token. And additionally, don't forget to manipulate or replace or edit or modify the authentication level to be master admin user. Okay, unless it's not gonna work, the token on itself, it doesn't suffice or it's not enough. Alright, so now we have, if we go back to script, now we have the authentication level set to master admin, which is here, and the token is here. Alright, forward, and admin. Pretty good, right? Okay, so going to admin, we see here, okay, so let me close this and this vulnerable hub. Okay, so you have authentication interface, and it says please authenticate with the link plus CLI tool to use link plus. I don't understand what's link plus, but as long as it says CLI, it means that there is something with command line and injection and etc. So if you try to Bulldog2 wrong password. So this is the admin dashboard. We need to get access to admin dashboard. So now some may say that the main attack vector here is SQL injection. Okay, I'm pretty sure don't waste your time with SQL injection. It's not gonna work here. Okay, so what does work here is command injection, because the author hints about that, which is CLI. But where is the command injection attack vector lies? In the username or in the password? To save your time, it's in the password, so don't try to inject in the username. Okay, so let's see how this works. Our instructor should be on, and Bulldog2. Let's type Bulldog2. So, as I said, the attack vector lies in the password parameter, or the command injection attacks vector lies in the command or the password parameter. So how you can inject that? Using the command chaining concept. Command chaining is when you write command here and then write semicolon, and after the semicolon you write the command that you need to execute. Okay, so we might now execute some reverse shell. Okay, so let's set our listener here, nclvp, and let's use one of the reverse shells we have. So reverse shells here, let me use the netcut, which is here. Of course you need to modify the IP address and the ports. Copy, going back, paste, and forward. Let's see if we get any connection back. Alright, so now we have reverse shell back to our machine. Okay, so let's now quit Prep Suite, and as we have finished from this and now we move past this, let's click on X to focus on the root privilege escalation. So let's now invoke what? You know, the PTY. Alright, ID, it's node, okay? So cd cat etc sudoers permission denied. So it's pretty much that we don't have permissions as sudoers, or we are limited users here. If you go to home, cd admin, so here is the profile for the admin user we've just compromised, and cd node. Okay, so we don't see anything fruitful here. Okay, so your next step is finding if we have some tools or files that have the set UID bit, but for this challenge the escalation vector is the etc password file. So if you go to etc prep, so you see the password file here, and the permissions look weird because typically the password file, as you can see, we can read, write, execute for all the owner and the users and the group. Okay, so anyone can write, execute, or read this password file, which is the circumstances that shouldn't be enabled. So the password file should be only readable, okay, for the root user. Okay, so this is the second misconfiguration on this machine. So, and this is your escalation vector. Okay, so what you need to do here is, if you view the file, okay, for these two users, forget about them because I'm the one who created those users. If you are doing the challenge for the first time, you will see from here, and basically everything is encrypted and hashed. But as you can write to the password file, your next step is creating a password with a user and then suing to this user. Okay, but there is something you need to consider before creating a user and add it to the password file, which is the encryption or the hashing mechanism. The password file only accepts certain formulas or hash for the password, so you cannot just go ahead and add a user using the add command, which is user add, and it will be directly added to the password file. Okay, yes, but you will not have the root access. So if you want to do this, you need to use the specific hash that's accepted by the password file. And I found this this site here, which is Security Stack Exchange, and said about the password hashes that get accepted using the password file. What are the password hashes you're going to use to manually manipulate the password file? So you need to use this command, perl print crypt, and here is your password. Okay, so I already grabbed the command, so let me see what is it. Okay. So we need now to create the encoded password. Okay. And this password, we will add this password to the command that we're going to use to add the user to the password file. You will see how this works right now. So okay, so this command create an encrypted password that gets accepted in the password file. So here type your password. So let's write pull password. Okay. I think there's some problem here. Yeah, I forgot the quotes. Okay. I think I am executing on the vulnerable machine, right? I think I need to do that on my machine. So let me grab this. Make sure to create the password on your machine, not the vulnerable machine. So here the code that I forgot. This is the hash that you need to use when you create the user on the password file. Okay. So now we go back here. Cat password, and to create a user that has root privilege, you need to follow the same formula for the root entry here, which is here. So grab this, okay, copy it, go back to your machine, paste, and manipulate. So instead of root, I'm gonna say my user will be, for example, me pull, and those stay the same. And here me pull, root stayed the same, but here you need to put the password or the encrypted password, which is here. Okay, so after typing this command, copy this command and go to the shell. And type echo I think I forgot something. Right. Okay. I forgot the M. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I think it's done. Okay. So again, I'm gonna copy this. Echo. Okay, the user. I forgot to do the forward. So here, echo, pasting the command, and now you need to forward this to the password file. Okay, so the password has been created and the user has been created. Cat to verify our user. Cat. So me pull. Okay, so me pull. It asks for the password. Copy the password from here. Okay, paste. Failure. What is the problem here? Yes, I think the password is wrong. Sue and me bull. So if I go back to my machine, what was the password? It is bull password. Let's try now. Man! Okay, so here's root. Go to root. cat.txt. So congratulations guys, I hope you learned from this machine. As you saw, this machine is very challenging. It's kind of OSCP machine, intermediate level, and congratulations, you have pawned the machine, and see you in the next video.